The N64. I can't think of a more iconic console. Released in 1996, the N64 defined a generation of 3D gaming, producing some of the greatest games of all time, and one of the weirdest controllers of all time. Here are my top 5 games for the N64. Coming in at the number 5 spot is a game only remembered by the streets, Pokemon Snap. If you know, you know. Pokemon Snap plays like a rail shooter, but instead of shooting guns to kill, you're shooting a camera to take photos of Pokemon. It's actually a pretty cool concept. You travel to different areas, such as a volcano, a beach, and a tunnel, where you take photos of various Pokemon, and then Professor Oak rates them and gives you a score based on size, pose, technique, and specials. Specials are where you use the in-game items like apples and dust balls in order to trigger events in game. Like throwing an apple at this Charmeleon so that he falls in the lava, causing him to evolve into a Charizard. Overall, Pokemon Snap's a pretty good game, and I would say it's severely underrated. Coming in at number 4 is another rail shooter, where you actually shoot things. It's also where the do a barrel roll meme comes from. It's Star Fox 64, or in my case, Lilac Wars. Star Fox 64 is a sequel to Star Fox on the SNES, and is a vast improvement on its predecessor. You play as Fox McCloud, piloting the sick as fuck R-Wing, going from planet to planet with your fire team made up of Slippy Toad, Falco Lombardi, and Peppy Hare. As you blast through enemies and defeat bosses, you can also pilot the Landmaster tank.
Okay, now shoot the switcher.
And my personal favorite, the submarine. Each planet you travel to has a unique design. Like, look at some of these planets. There's a fire planet where you fight a prey mantis looking thing. There's a water planet where you fight a fucking giant clam. Hell, there's even an acid planet where you fight a fucking pirate. But it's not just a glorified rail shooter. It actually has some good story elements and character interactions. When you encounter your rival Star Wolf and his fire team.
Don't get too cocky, Star Fox.
Let's see how you handle our new ships.
Too bad Dad's not here to see you fail. We'll make sure you never reach Android. We'll just see about that, Star Wolf. I'll do you fast, Peppy, old pal.
Like, you can tell there's beef with some of the characters, like Peppy and the fucking pig guy. And when you beat the last level on hard mode and Fox sees the ghost of his father.
If I go down, I'm taking you with me. Don't ever give up, my son.
Father?
Follow me, Fox. Never give up. Trust your instincts. You've become so strong, Fox.
That shit got me feeling emotional, bro. Overall, Star Fox 64, or Lilac Wars, is a very solid game, and definitely worthy of being in my top 5. Now for number 3. This one is a very well-known game, and quite possibly one of the best speed games of all time. It's Mario 64. What can I say? Mario 64 is simply one of the GOATs. It brought Mario from 2D to 3D, revolutionizing 3D gaming. Mario 64 has some of the best movement I've ever seen in a game. It's so satisfying performing some of the various maneuvers you can pull off with Mario's 5-foot Italian plumber looking ass. Like, look at this little fucking guy go. He's crazy with it. Wait, how tall actually is Mario? Is he actually 5 foot? How tall is Mario? He is 5 foot. Oh my God. I just guessed that shit. The level designs in combination with the soundtrack make for some of the most memorable levels of all time. I don't know why, for some reason when I hear the lava level song, it just makes me think of heat. Like when it's a hot day outside, all I hear is brown, brown, brown. When I hear Dire Dire Doc's theme, it just makes me feel like I'm floating in the ocean. Like, am I the only one that gets this? Am I just fucking different? I don't know. Let me know if you feel the same way. If you haven't played Mario 64 by now, what are you doing? I might get some hate for this one, but coming in at number 2 is a game often regarded as one of the greatest of all time. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. What can I say that hasn't already been said? This game is simply a timeless masterpiece. The story follows the hero of time, Link, not Zelda. If you haven't figured that out by now, you have no hope. Anyways, you play as Link as you go from dungeon to dungeon, meeting new characters, defeating bosses, acquiring new weapons and equipment in your quest to save Hyrule from the evil Gerudo King Ganondorf. The dungeons are nothing short of iconic. We're talking dungeons like the Water Temple. We're talking dungeons like the Forest Temple. We're talking the Great Deku Tree's throat. I'm gonna slide you down my throat. Accompanied by one of the best soundtracks of all time. It's literally that well known that you could just play Gerudo Valley to some random who's never played the game and he would still probably know the song. If you haven't played this game, go fucking play it right now. If number 2 ain't gonna get me hate, then this definitely fucking will. Oh shit. Coming in at number 1 is my favorite N64 game of all time, Banjo-Tooie. Boo. Now, before you come after me in the comment section, hear me out. Besides the fact that I'm extremely biased, Banjo-Tooie has all you could ever want in a platformer collectathon type game. It has great movement, beautiful world design, memorable characters, and lots of collectibles. Despite all the hate that it gets online, Banjo-Tooie's gameplay is a massive upgrade from its predecessor, Banjo-Kazooie, adding new eggs, new attack techniques, and boss battle. What sets it aside from other collectathon type games is the world building. The way the worlds are all interconnected by the train line and certain paths, and how you have to connect the worlds in order to get some G's. It's so cool. I love that about the game. The soundtrack is easily one of the best things about the game. The way Rare was moving back then was crazy, bro. The way the music transitions to a different version depending on where you are in the level, like when you go underwater or you just enter a different area. Just so cool, honestly. I would highly recommend you to play this one, especially if you love collectathons. It doesn't really get better than this for the N64. That being said, that's been my top 5 N64 games. Thank you for watching.